am of the view that mitigating circumstances outweigh the aggravating factors. I find that there are substantial and compelling circumstances which justify a deviation from the imposition of the prescribed minimum sentence of 15 years. Our courts are courts of law, not courts of public opinion. In the result, the sentence that I impose on the accused for the murder dolus eventualis of the deceased, that is Riva Steenkamp, is 6 years imprisonment.
Well, following that, moments ago, our South Africa correspondent Aisha Ismail gave us her take on the verdict.
What she decided was that she would deviate from the prescribed minimum sentence. And what she said was that she found that there was compelling and substantial evidence to deviate from this minimum sentence of 15 years, which is very interesting because the state argued earlier that he had showed no remorse and that he did not play open cards with the court. And today she said that she disagreed with the state prosecutor and also said that the mitigating factors outweighed the aggravating factors in this case. So very interesting that she's decided to deviate from the prescribed minimum sentence. You will recall that earlier she sentenced him to 5 years imprisonment, and today she has now sentenced him to 6 years. The original charge against him, well, she found him guilty of culpable homicide, also known as manslaughter, and sentenced him to 5 years. That was then taken on appeal by the state prosecutor, and the appeal court then found him guilty of murder and sent it back to Judge Masipa for resentencing. And today she resentenced him to 6 years imprisonment. Now, it's highly unlikely that Oscar Pistorius will be spending the full 6 years behind bars. He will be eligible for parole.
Now, Aisha, you mentioned mitigating factors just a second ago. What are the legal grounds on which the judge decided that 6 years was the appropriate jail term?
Well, she took into consideration, she took into account the fact his disability. She took into account his mental state. She also quoted and cited extensively a psychologist who came to court to testify in mitigation of sentence, saying that he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and that he also suffers from anxiety. So she weighed up the mitigating factors and weighed up the aggravating circumstances. Of course, the aggravating circumstances as set out by the state saying that he had shown no remorse and that he had not played open cards with the court. But once again, Judge Masipa clearly has taken pity on Oscar Pistorius and has found that the mitigating circumstances outweighs the aggravating circumstances. She also made a point by saying that he had apologized to Riva Steenkamp's family and that he had tried to meet with them before, but that they had refused to meet with him. He then, during the court case, apologized to them, and they had just recently publicly said that they had accepted his apology.